Hi, Justin.
Hey,
Jackson.
Justin.
Hi, Justin.
So, who would like to give a recap of last session?
I think
Oh, I
Brian
would.
should do it.
I mean, that's what she thinks of herself, yeah.
I'm using Auto GM to see what it would make high. Oh god, he's a femboy.
Accurate.
Oh.
Everything returns to femboy. So, Brian, did you say you wanted to give the recap?
No.
Alright, I'm gonna call on Lizzie. You do it.
Oh, God. Okay, we all woke up. Wait, hold on.
Yeah, we all woke up.
We all woke up? Yeah, okay, we woke up. And we were summoned to Hekara. So we all went and met with Mama. And then Mama was like, hey, so you know how that party's still happening? Well, actually, I'm gonna have you guys sneak ahead and try to get in while they're still thinking we're partying. So you're gonna go and try to take out the two giants at the front gate because she is thinking that they're gonna fortify the other gates. So she wants us to go in, and if we can get in to do that, but at least to wipe out the two giants in the front. Um, Found out that Lyzata likes giants as opposed to kobolds because she's like a what's the word?
Size queen.
Sure, yeah, that. And we need to, yeah, I think that, and then after talking to her, Clara was like, I want to go have lunch with my siblings because yay, family. And the others were like, we're gonna go kind of do some stuff before we strike at night while the party's going on. So they went to meet with. Did you go to meet with Delancre?
No.
No. Where did you go?
No, we went to a tavern and demanded full secrecy and kind of debated our next step.
Oh.
Which I believe we determined was to go.
Yes.
Yeah. I think. Oh, and we shared some stuff about our dreams. Yeah.
Not that much, though.
Not
Yeah, actually, for the most part, you guys didn't really talk about your dreams.
Some of us said secrets to others.
said things.
I think 3 people told me what their dream was.
Clara was saying things, and then people were yelling at her because they were like, "Don't say anything out loud." Oh yeah, didn't we break the scry too?
We found
No.
out that the Scry left when we left the mansion.
Um.
We didn't break it, but we know that it's not here.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, why don't we start with Clara? You have a lovely brunch with your brother and sister.
Guys, I'm so happy that I finally have real siblings. I've been alone for so long.
It is good that our family is full again.
So how long have you guys been with Mama? I don't think I ever heard.
We've both been back and found a few years ago. Me first, then Formith. So I've been about 3 years, Formith about 2.
Where were you before?
Oh, I was in the swamps under Winlot.
Oh. What about you, Formith?
I toiled in the forges of the hells.
That sounds really dark and brooding. Well,
It was.
what did you guys what happened when you came here? I know Mama like taught us all the magics and stuff, but like what did you do? What have you guys been doing for the last few years?
I have worked as a force of battle in secrecy for Hekara. She wants something taken care of, I go out and do it. And until recently, my name was kept out of the public eye to preserve the secrecy of my form. And I mostly just did a lot of research, trying to figure out how to tie blood magic and wild magic together. Whole lot of alchemy.
Did Mama ever ask you guys to do things that like maybe you didn't want to do?
Like what?
Murder babies.
I mean, I don't know, just like if there was something that kind of just seemed like maybe it wasn't the right thing to do.
We have learned that Hekara knows best.
Yeah, right. Uh-huh. Yeah, Mama knows best. You're right. Ha- did I know like we have each other, but um do you think we're the only ones?
Every blood witch can sire 3. We are her 3. So no. Unless you mean our cousins.
Well, guys, I have something I need to tell you, but I I don't know. I I don't know if it's really a good idea, but I think you should know.
You can tell us anything. We're family.
Well, I heard that we aren't the first ones
The first of what?
of 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 Mama's children.
What does that even mean? Like, we're all here. There's only 3 of us.
Yeah, but I. What do you guys know about Mama's other sister? I don't think she told me much about her.
Lyzata has been driven mad in years past, searching for power and her lost children. She wishes to scorn and leave the ways of the Rakdos and squire things for herself. So that is why we must march on her.
No, I mean her other sister.
You mean Exava? I think she's been dead for a long time.
Yeah, but like, did Mom ever tell you anything about her?
Not really. She told me that she had passed away, when... Well, actually, she said that, Exava had come to attack Mama. And then, so, in self-defense, Mama killed her.
Oh. Well, yeah, I mean, I guess that would make sense. Um, if I tell you guys something, can I trust that this stays between us like a sibling pact?
Of course.
Well, um, I I heard that apparently we we aren't the only we aren't the only children of Mama, and that she apparently has other children that didn't do her bidding or didn't do what she wanted. and then she had to dispose of them and make new ones, and that we aren't the first, and if we don't do what she wants us to do, that it might happen to us.
We are her children. If we die, we are reborn. Do you mean past iterations of us, perhaps? Who told you such a thing?
Oh, well, remember when in the pit with that big fight and I got my first thrall? Well, he has these fancy divination powers. And it came to me in a dream.
Oh, well, I get weird dreams all the time. That doesn't make them true.
Okay, well, I'm just a little worried, you know?
You have nothing
But
to worry about, and if it is as you say, though I doubt it, as long as you do what Mother says, there shouldn't be a problem.
yeah, you're right, Formith. I should just um yeah, okay. And she just kind of like is worried that they're not kind of siding with her, so she's a little nervous to say anything else. So she kind of just shuts up there and is like, "Well, I think I should go find my friends and get ready for the big strike tonight, you know?"
A good idea, though maybe you shouldn't be as vocal about that. You
Yeah,
never know who's listening.
yeah. Again, I thought us siblings could, speak openly, but no one else will I ever say anything to. Don't worry. And she like holds up her little tiny green pinky to like pinky promise him.
He just kind of like puts out a hand, and like your entire hand wraps around his pinky.
Okay, well, I'll see you later. And she like scurries away.
Good luck tonight. Let us know if you need anything. And you scurry off, I assume, to find the party?
Yeah.
So, you all have been at the tavern for a little while now, passing back and forth encoded thoughts, trying to figure out, okay, who's being scryed, what was the scrying coming from, coming to the realization that all of you have these kind of outside forces, or at least many of you have these outside forces that seem to have interest in what you're doing, or at least interest in you as individuals that might be gaining information that isn't for them. And after maybe an hour of this, you get a knock on the door, and you hear the lizard folk who was at the bar, and he goes, "I know you wanted privacy, but there is a goblin here that claims they are part of your group. Should I let her in?"
It's me, it's Clara.
How did she find us? We never told her where we were going.
Clara, this is like the 8th tavern you've tried.
Well, she's in the abyss. Hold
Yeah,
on a
Lizzie, I
sec.
think you were too far from the mic for a second there.
Or I was just talking too high pitched. Sometimes
You
it
were-
goes like that.
You were literally in the abyss. We heard. It sounded like you were a mile away,
Yeah.
lost to the void.
What?
Like
the
that.
microphone is trying to get rid
There it goes
of.
again.
God damn.
Hello? Hello?
We can hear you.
Hello.
Can you guys hear me?
Yes,
Yeah, we can hear you, Katie.
You're fine.
Yeah,
Quiet. but
I
you're
think it
fine.
was just the voice. And it tried
I think
to
it's just the
do
Clara
it.
voice, yeah.
It was like, turn you down.
Unattractive sound.
Hey.
It literally, like, you do this and it thinks that you're a fucking air conditioner.
The actual air conditioner that's in here might not be helping.
Matter was he sweats to death.
It's
Yep.
true.
Damn, Lizzie's harmonizing with the air conditioner, so it's blocking her out.
You guys are matching the same frequency.
And have that effect.
I'll leave you all be then. As he shuts the door back behind as Clara scuttles in.
Why did you make me invisible?
Because you weren't on the. I'm moving you.
Thank you.
There.
Wait, you're not invisible.
Well, now
Well,
my
now
token's
she's
gone.
just dead, so...
Well, I tried to stop her from being invisible. Wait, why do you have the invisibility status effect?
I don't know.
It just evaporates.
There.
If I could hear that.
No, I'm still invisible.
You're not invisible on my screen.
Yeah, she's invisible on hers and
Well,
mine.
I don't see her, so I'm inclined to say she's invisible.
I'm right
Um,
next to the sky.
Make a new token. Just give her a new token.
yeah, that's the way to do it. Now she is deleted. Sorry,
Oh.
Clara, God has deleted you.
Clara walks in and just immediately drops dead from a heart attack.
Hekara
Now
heard
can
me
you guys see her?
explode.
Yes.
Yes.
Hey guys, I just passed Pat's apartment. Should I go in there and wreck up the place?
Yes.
Go for it.
I'm gonna eat your plant.
You know what? You go in and try to eat the plants. I think you'll be the food first.
What does that mean?
Charlie.
I got a dog.
Dog.
Charlie.
Why would Charlie eat him?
Because he
Because
hates when people eats his
Try
plants.
to eat the plants.
Charlie
Oh.
definitely tries to eat everyone that walks in the door.
Okay.
He loves munching on my hands.
Hands.
Hey guys, so like, what you been up to?
Well, Clara, well, I suppose, while the rest of you run your errand, Clara, would you like to go to a candy store or something?
Well,
Nice save.
what? You know, get him! And she's like, pretending she's like getting ready to fight. Like, yeah.
We have a few hours until night. They're gonna run some errands, and well, we're the odd ones out, so I thought you could use a little bit of a pick-me-up.
Well, I guess. Also, I wanted to talk to Formith and Zorilla because I wanted to tell them, you know, about what I found out about Mama. But they think she's really the bee's knees and that she does nothing wrong, and I'm worried now that she's probably gonna be like have them on her side if anything happens, and that's kind of scary, you know.
Hold on. What do they not know about this endeavor of ours tonight?
Also, sorry, Escher, you always
Yeah.
have detect magic up, right?
Yeah, I'd say I probably have it up right now to make sure nobody's watching us. That I
As
can
she
see.
walks
If it's
in- as she
invisible, I
walks
can't
in-
see it.
As she walks in, you see that Clara has divination magic on her.
Again, if effects are invisible, I can't see them.
Okay.
Does that change anything?
Well, I thought you could see if something was affected by magic.
Actually, that's a weird spot that I'm not.
For the duration, you sense the presence of magic within 30 feet of you. If you sense magic in this way, you can use your action to see a faint aura around any visible creature or object in the area that bears magic. Yeah, so because you are seeing Clara, who is the target of it, I will say, even though you don't see, like, whatever the source is, you see that Clara has divination magic on her.
Alright, in that case, I'm gonna do this, and I'm gonna pop a little, boop. And I'm just gonna hand that to Fox and say, good thinking, get her away.
Oh, and Clara, we could also pay our good friend a visit to see if he actually stuck around.
Our friend?
I'm being sarcastic. The one that owes me a lot of money, and that you killed.
What?
Cranko.
I didn't kill Cranko. What are you talking about?
I'll fill you in on the way, as I try to lead her away.
I imagine he just grabs her wrist and like drags her out of the room.
Come now to the candy shop.
Take you to the candy shop. I'll let you lick the lollipop.
Clara, that song doesn't. Okay,
That's right.
just go. Just go.
Don't like a child singing that.
After,
Fully mature adult.
also, actual story, my sister sang that song when it came out in 4th grade, and I was the one that told her maybe don't sing that.
I think we need to go before this gets worse.
So what would you all like to do?
Alright, Kai, with the threats to our discrepancy occupied for the time being, you said you knew how to get to this new location?
Correct. The map of the location was given to me the same form that we're used to communicating.
Perhaps we should go there now then, the four of us. The least compromised members of this group. And you're sure it's okay for you to bring your friend in there?
He's been around much longer than even you have. She knows more than you. It's fine.
That doesn't make it safe.
A lot of what we're doing isn't safe, but I'm the one with the location that was entrusted to me, and I can't exactly get rid of her, so
But we can get rid of you.
No,
I suppose that is a fair point. All right then. It seems as though you're one of the only ones that can communicate with it, so I suppose that's a minor security risk for us. For now, at least.
I can assure you the guild politics are none of her concern.
Oh, lovely politics. All right then, lead the way.
Obviously Kai knows the location, but I do not know where on this map it is, so if you
I
could
mean,
just...
it's gonna be a different map. It's in the general area.
Okay.
But yeah, you are able to get there. So I'm going to...
I was waiting for it's right next door, right here.
I'm going to move you over to a different area, which, when you are, like, outside, you see that there is kind of a warehouse-looking place, and, like, you know how in, like, cities there will be, like, the cellar entrances to kind of, like, below-ground restaurants and, like, businesses and shit?
Yeah.
It's like that. Like, it's not a above-ground building. You just end up at this cellar door, and it says, it is the place that you were told, Kai, of the Broken Promise Inn.
All right.
I don't know if that bodes well, but don't
I'm a
think
cow.
That's
Yes,
right.
thank you, Tavro.
It should be noted that when you get there and you try to open it, this kind of cellar door area is locked. And when you go to open it, putting your hand on it, you hear, like, telepathically, "What is your purpose?"
Oh god. Hold on, I'm just making sure there's nothing in my notes that this is like a riddle for or something.
I don't think it is. I think they might just want to know.
um, and I just say seeking shelter for the night and possibly specific company.
And you like say that out, and then after a moment you hear a series of clicks and the door pops open, and I can bring you all to.
I'll be honest, Kai, I didn't think that was going to work.
I didn't either, but
And then as you step down in, the doors shut and lock behind you, and you hear the click, 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 click as like the locks reinstate themselves. And you find yourselves in this kind of large tavern area, and it's strange. This place is like huge, and yet you can only see one figure standing in here. The Cambion that you saw and spoke to telepathically at the Hekara's manor. And as you come in, he starts like walking up the stairs towards you and goes, "Welcome, welcome. So you've made it."
I did. And this time I brought the rest. Well,
Well,
most of them.
some.
And you actually see Escher, his eyes flash for a second. Actually, never mind. Neither Fox or Clara are here. His eyes flash for a second, and he goes, "Come in. I'm glad you were able to make it today."
Hold on. Where did... Oh, there we go. I was too zoomed out, and I literally couldn't see his token. I was like, where the fuck is this guy? He just blended in with the floor too well.
Yeah, no, it doesn't help that the basement takes place in Mexico, but
So, you've made it. And you're missing a few.
Yeah.
It's for our own security. I figured you'd appreciate the discrepancy.
yes, the other two, at least one of them specifically, carries too much notoriety in this town. We can always fill them in later when we're more sure of our secrecy.
Yes, that does make sense. The new Blood Witch might turn a few eyes. If the other one's distracting her, it makes sense. Well, come in, come in. Now, I'm sure you have some questions after our brief discussion, and depending on what you've told the rest of them. Hello all, my name is Delancre, and I am your new handler.
So,
Like,
if
gather up at a table down there.
we kind of already were at one, well, I guess we can go to this one.
Oh, I
Sure.
thought this was like kind of on a balcony or something.
Why does this one look like a torture rack?
Yes, I was gonna say, as you look more around here, this is a very there's these little unsettling things about
Oh,
the
those are
inn.
pages.
Like, you come to... Yeah, so you come over to, like, this larger table with drinks and stuff on it. And there are chains at the top and at the bottom, as if to tie someone down. You notice how a lot of, like, these circular bar tables have cages with imps in the middle in them. You notice how a lot of the like wood and stuff is kind of warped and mangled. Like, it's all nice, but there's like, it's almost hard to tell if this is a tavern or a torture chamber.
Asher thinks to
Sounds like a
himself,
good night to me.
maybe a war with the Rakdos isn't too bad. Well, it's certainly an interesting decor, but nevertheless, I I believe it's about time we finally get word of the next step in whatever it is our plan is. I believe you should have information for us.
Yes, as I said, I'm happy to answer any of your questions, but to start, frankly, I don't care which side wins. But if Mr. Gyo has shared the details, we need the Tongue of Isolda. That can only be achieved by gaining 3 specific keys. One was held by each of the daughters of Isolda. As far as I know, Exava's is truly lost. So, we have Hekara and Lyzata. Lyzata. Then, we have the benefits. The next generation. I was beginning to think of how I was going to turn one of them. You've already gotten one in your group. She can forge a new key. That will give us the 3 that we need to get the tongue.
Mr. Delancre, could you humor a theory of mine for a second?
I'm listening.
These keys necessary to obtain this artifact, they're not physical keys, are they?
Key might be a generous term, but if you're asking whether or not it is the sisters themselves, no, simply a piece of them.
Tomato, tomato. We're not looking for a physical key, though. It's something harbored within a blood witch.
It is a literal key, but forged from their blood.
Oh, so it seems that both interpretations are correct in a way. Interesting. And what information do you have about the nature of these keys? What would forging one entail? And if one sister was to prevail over the other, wouldn't we be missing one of the keys?
Well, yes. Exava's key has been lost, which is why a new one will have to be forged. But the goal is for one sister now to prevail, and in the act of taking the other sister's key, we're able to catch them off guard after the battle and take both.
Ah, interesting. But even then, wouldn't we still be missing that 3rd key? How do you plan on obtaining that?
Well, my understanding is that Clara is an inheritor of this bloodline. She'll be able to forge one.
That's putting a lot of faith on that goblin.
Unfortunately, we'll need one of the 6.
She does have 2 siblings, from my understanding as well. Could one of them perhaps do it?
And you want to convince one of them versus somebody that's already completely on our side?
It's more a concern of if the one on our side is incapable of the task we're discussing.
Pretty rude.
You're not there.
There is a potential issue with that. My understanding is that part of this is based around inheritance. The way a Blood Witch forms a key is through a specific ritual with Lord Rakdos. There is a crypt in the city, in Rixmati. One that any member of the Rakdos may venture into, and one that very, very few leave. Most go in for power. I am an example of that. All the Cambions and Fiends you see, well, the more noble ones at least, they've undertaken the trial. We are given a minor lordship by succeeding in it. Blood Witches are able to undertake that trial to gain a deeper blessing from Lord Rakdos. or they may forge the key. My understanding is that Formith and Zarilla have already undertaken the trial and deepened their bond with Rakdos. I don't know if they will be able to forge a key from their own blood anymore.
Ah, so it's an everybody gets one wish and they already used theirs.
I believe that may be the case. If they come again, if they do it again, which I believe they can, they very well may be able to forge a key. But as they've already tied themselves to Hekara's specific bloodline, I believe the key would be the same as hers, a recreation of it. If Clara has not yet undertaken the trial, she can pledge herself to the third bloodline, that of the dead sister, and form a key for that instead.
All this
Then-
Rakdos business has such a strange method of, and such a strange understanding of how blood works, but nevertheless, I suppose that could work.
Oh, it is certainly
Maybe.
strange. To be honest, Clara was one of two that we were looking for, as Lyzata hasn't found her third child either. We were hoping that any of the unpledged could be found before the sisters did. Although, given that Clara was recruited into the Demir before this all was revealed, it seems that whoever first brought you in might have been aware of her special circumstance, known that this was coming.
That's rather impressive, considering it seems that even Clara didn't have an idea.
Let me
So-
guess. The one who brought you all in was one of the precogs?
That's right.
Yes.
Yes, yes.
Very good. They're doing their job then. You'll learn as you deal with the Demir to protect ourselves and the plans at large. Each person is only given a chunk of it. No one knows the whole picture, other than, of course, our guild leader.
So, if the plan is to have Clara forge this new key, there is still this middle portion of the plan that seems rather messy in obtaining the keys from the other two sisters. For once we obtain the keys, can we not assume they're going to try and get them back?
Oh, absolutely. I would recommend killing them.
Do we
They'll
think
come-
that's
they'll-
something we have the power to do?
I mean... And he looks you up and down and goes, that is a fair question. I would start with stealing them. If you're forced into combat, running may not be the worst option.
Even if we run, or if we steal them, they're going to know, and the number of suspects is going to be rather slim. It seems like a fairly dangerous bet to go in without a definitive plan.
The idea would be to get you into the Crypt of Keys as soon as possible once it's done. Even the sisters wouldn't risk the wrath of Lord Rakdos by hunting someone in there. Not to say that there isn't others undertaking the trial that you'd have to fight. But if they came in with the express purpose of tracking someone down, well, it depends on how entertaining those who watch find it. If they find that to be in poor taste, well, it's one of the few ways that they can actually risk permanently dying. So no, I
got
don't
home.
think
I'm
they'd
gonna switch to my
follow.
computer. I'll be back.
Okay. No, I don't think they'd follow you into the crypt. And fortunately, in that same crypt is where the tongue is, if all three keys are brought there.
That is very helpful information to know.
So, if you're quick enough to get away, sure, they might know who you are and what you've done. But if you can get to the crypt even a moment before they can, you'll have the chance to get that tongue. And no one in the Rakdos can stand against the one who holds the tongue of Isolda.
That is more reasonable then, I suppose.
Not to say this whole plan sounds simple.
This is gonna be a walk in the park.
Yeah, simple is rarely what we do. Plans within plans within plans and all that.
Inception.
True, but there is another option. Well, not another option, but there is an efficient way around this that could stand to protect everybody involved.
Do
And
tell.
what would that be?
Well, as you said yourself, it doesn't really, in this coming civil war between these blood witches, for our purposes, it truly doesn't matter which one of them wins. All that matters for us is that neither of them gets all three keys, correct?
It's not just that they can't get all three keys, but we will need all three keys.
Well, yes, but if one of them wins, they will have at least two, and then we can get the two from the victor, but it doesn't matter which one that is, and as it stands, we're already in rather good graces with one of them, and so it wouldn't be too much of a surprise to either of them if we were to aid Hekara in her victory against her sister. However, what I don't think she has considered, she may have given us a tool for her own downfall following her victory.
Interesting. What would that be?
Um, oh my lord, Kai, who has the brick?
Sure, I think you know the answer to the question.
Cut to a scene of Clara and Fox walking down the street with Clara like swirling it over her head like a fucking yo-yo.
No, she like put it in a fucking sock and is spinning it around, growling
Yeah.
at people as they pass.
Yeah, exactly.
How far do you think I can throw this? Let's test it.
Asher just has this brief little fuck. We've been given access to some type of blood magic artifact that is supposedly capable of subduing a blood witch's power on contact. We were told that if it contains the blood of a blood witch, it would be more effective, but it's not necessary. I asked Hekara if we were sure that this would work on her sister, and she said that even though her sister was more powerful than herself, it would work on her. If a tool would work on a blood witch more powerful than Hekara, it stands to reason it would work on her as well.
Yes, that would make sense. Interesting.
Now, you being a master of subtlety and subterfuge, I don't suppose you have a way to get Hekara's blood that we haven't thought of, do you?
Well, Hekara has already formed her key. Having her blood wouldn't do much.
We could use it in this device to incapacitate her from at any moment.
Ah, now I understand. Her blood is not something easy to come by. But the war party's still going on today, correct?
Yeah, I believe so.
I doubt she would turn down a challenge to get in her fight pits that she's so famous for.
With herself?
I don't see why she wouldn't hop in. If you're willing to try and take her on, if she's trusting in you, you might be able to get a few good blows and steal some blood without her realizing what you're doing. And since she's reliant on you, I doubt she'll kill you in the process. At least not all of you.
I think we could do it.
I mean,
But if
We
she
carry
notices
out
you taking her blood, then
Wait, why do we need her blood?
Don't worry about it.
use her blood with the brick and then subdue Hekara after we defeat Lyzata without the brick.
But I can just use my blood to activate the brick.
We need her blood.
And then kill yourself?
The brick works better if it has the blood of its target.
Yeah.
Oh.
Not just any blood witch blood. It's like the one that it is subduing.
Yeah, if you
Yes,
have the blood
so-
of the target in there, it doesn't need to make contact.
exactly. So it takes the blood of a blood witch to activate it, and then you can either activate it with another blood witch's blood to incapacitate them, whatever, or fucking chuck it at them, and if it hits, incapacitate them.
Now, that is a reasonable strategy. However, it does hinge on us being able to defeat Lysolda without using it.
Well, we will have Hekara's forces with us the following day, as long as we, on our initial mission, don't go all the way up to Lyzalda. She is a child. Blood.
I hear whispering.
Yeah, Connor's saying something that I'm wrapping my head around.
Child's blood.
I don't think it's how it works with them.
It's like the same thing as Clara.
So there can only ever be 3 keys. We can't just make 2 more of them.
That is my understanding. Each of the 3 bloodlines can only have 1 key. Or even if they have multiple keys, they would all be to that bloodline. You need all 3 bloodlines to unlock.
So,
Wait, so then how does
You-
Clara help here?
Because she's not part of the bloodline yet. She didn't make the pact with Lord Rakdos. So if she goes through the trial of bones or whatever it is, she can start a new bloodline and become the key. She hasn't been officiated into that bloodline yet.
why does she have to be officiated if she's the daughter of one of the daughters?
Because
Not a-
blood magic be whack.
So she has a inclination towards one, but it is the deepening of your bond with Lord Rakdos, where you can pledge yourself to the one that fits you best.
She got baptism, but not confirmation.
Wait a minute.
That's a great way of looking at it, actually.
Wait a minute.
It's kind of like if you complete this thing, you can convert.
Delancre,
Did I
how
get a
much
long rest?
do you- Yes, I think so. Delancre, how much do you know about blood magic and the nature of it?
I've done quite a bit of research in preparation for this. I've been on this assignment for, and he points down at himself, being a Cambion, a very long time.
How does one acquire these blood magic capabilities?
There are a few options that I understand. One, of course, is be one of the children of a blood witch.
Yeah,
That
but they're
gives
not
you-
actual biological children. How did they obtain the power?
They are born to thralls of the blood witch. So your goblin friend, her parents would have been thralls of Hekara, and thralls cannot give birth. They give away their fertility in exchange for power. Now, if they give birth, it is to the spawn of the blood witch.
So are there other options?
If a thrall undertakes the trial of the Crypt of Keys, they will have enough of the power within them to potentially choose a bloodline at the end, although this is not proven.
We get Cranko.
And I take it there's no third option.
Well, Isolde was the first one to ever complete the Crypt of Keys, and that is when she was granted the power to become the first Blood Witch by Lord Rakdos himself. Now that he slumbers, it is unknown if that can still be undertaken. When I undertook the trial, I was granted the power to become a fiend, a cambion, a noble. I was not given such an option to become a Blood Witch, otherwise I would have taken it, and all of this would have been much easier. That being said, I'm only one perspective, although I know of other fiends, nobles, who have undertaken the trials and ended up in the same or similar position as me. There have been no records of a new, truly new Blood Witch since Isolde.
That might be just what we need. Delancre, you might have revealed upon us a third option that, while risky, could simplify things for us. I noticed what you said before, that Clara is necessary for this plan, as she is not tied to the bloodline yet, unlike her siblings, that she can form a new bloodline and make a new key, correct?
That is my understanding.
And it made me realize her siblings can't do it. If they were to make a key, if what you said is true, it would be identical to Hekara's. If the blood magic can't distinguish between the blood of Hekara and her children, perhaps that device may not be able to either.
So you get one of the children to make a key to replace Hekara's, and then take it from them?
Well, if we need to incapacitate Hekara, perhaps it's not her blood we need to reload into the device to incapacitate her. I assume it wouldn't be as strong because it wouldn't come from the source, but if the other two siblings derive their blood magic from Hekara, perhaps combining their blood would be potent enough to incapacitate Hekara, even if it is just for a time, for us to get the key off of her.
Did she say that it would be the target or the target's bloodline? If it's the bloodline, that might work. But if this is targeting the person themselves, if I take her child's blood and scry with it, I would still end up with the child.
I don't deal in blood magic. I'm not sure which it is.
I believe it's simply the target.
It is.
It could be worth an attempt, but that's a risk that... Actually, if you're gonna go up against Hekara, taking out the two children loyal to her might not be a terrible idea. So even if it does fail to take her out and incapacitate her, could take out two of her strongest soldiers.
We don't even know if it could work on two of them at once. Truly, the mechanisms of it are still a mystery to me. I simply think we must consider the option of what it is capable of, and I don't think it's something we can experiment with. Obviously, getting
I don't
Hekara's
think he's saying to use the brick on two of them. I think we just need to kill two of them outright.
Well, that would be a little difficult. Once that happens, Hekara knows we're against her.
Right.
I think... There is always the option of we could just throw it at her when she doesn't expect it and hope for the best. That is still an option. In fact, it's the option she recommended against the more powerful Blood Witch.
Speaking of, we do need to deal with that first.
Yeah. Though, Lysolda is not necessarily a problem we will have to deal with personally. All we have to do is eliminate those guards from the gate to ensure Hekara's forces are the ones that deal with her.
Correct. We still need to do it, though.
But that is an infinitely simpler task than what we're discussing now. We also have to do that tonight, but... Alright, hold on, I gotta think.
She's given you a timeline.
Yes, the first stages of the battle are to occur tonight. We are to weaken the defenses before the primary engagement tomorrow.
How confident are you in this whole? Do you think that there is a legitimate chance that you could get Hekara's key afterwards and get to the crypt if she were the victor in this battle between the two sisters?
Like, tonight or tomorrow?
Whenever you decide to turn against her.
Oh, how confident? Are we talking a scale of 1 to 10?
Yes.
Rationally speaking, 4, but I don't believe we have a better alternative.
I think it's better odds than the lot of us taking on Lyzata.
Regardless of which one of them it is, we simply need one of them to weaken the other. Once one of them has 2 keys, they hopefully will not be. They will either not be in a strong enough state to stand against us, or they will be distracted long enough to hit them in the head with a brick.
It is also likely, since the third sister is dead, that once one of the sisters has 2 of the keys, they will look to Clara, the other lost child, to form the third key.
Yes,
Well, we need
I
to
do
do
find
that
that likely.
We can wait for.
Yes, I believe that this is why Hekara has decided to act now. She has a child that can form the third key. Therefore, she is willing to make her move, and then I think her goals are very similar to the plan we've discussed. As soon as she gets the second key, send Clara into the crypt.
Well, there is... Hopefully we can... Since this is Rakdos, and we've seen Hekara loves her celebrations, after we've defeated Lyzata, we could convince her to hold one more celebration, and during that one, we get her in the pit, and that's when we try to get her blood.
Not a terrible idea if you think you could convince her.
I think
Perhaps.
whether or not I'm not entirely certain we could convince her on our own if just the assault is a success. But if we and our group alone were to kill Lyzata,
I don't think that's
Dead.
possible.
but I think in that scenario, then we could get her to hold a celebration in our honor.
I suppose. My initial thought was that we could challenge Hekara before, like, tonight before the raid, so we know what we're up against in terms of a powerful Blood Witch, but again, there is the option of just hitting her with it, and if it comes from a source she doesn't expect, it may be more likely to work.
And what would that
I
source be?
The only one of us that can actually use the device. The one that she relies on. The one that her whole plan hinges on.
Are you saying we use it against her in the pits?
It doesn't matter when, it just matters that Clara is the one that does it. She'll be able to catch her by surprise the best. The where is insignificant here. All we have to do is hit her with it. Clara stands the best chance of doing that, as Hekara most likely trusts her more than any of us. She needs Clara. And,
Perhaps
well,
before volunteering Clara for this, you should leave the safe house, return to Clara, and inform her of this via a spell of some kind to secretly inform her, and perhaps she can then give an answer.
Nah.
nah. It's putting a lot of responsibility on her, so we'll have to make sure it's something she can handle, but I quite literally don't think the rest of us can operate this thing, so we might not have a choice.
I mean, Clara is kind of the centerpiece of this whole thing anyway. I don't think entrusting her to, knock out Hekara with a brick is a bad idea.
Especially because she seems to have had some reservations about working with her as of late, so perhaps she wouldn't be opposed.
Now, if that's the case, I do think that that may be a good course of action. If you can, tonight, 1, assess the power level, 2, get a drop of her blood discreetly enough that she doesn't notice, and 3, convince Clara to act against her mother, which we'll need at some point regardless, then I think we have a solution.
The blood is a bonus. We don't need it. It just makes our lives easier. But yeah, that's sound. I think that we just have to make sure we have to find a way to get Clara to agree to strike her in like the moment of victory. That is when she's going to suspect it the least, and she'll most likely be at her weakest. Until then, we need to keep up the illusion that we are still on her side, and we're going to have to complete this task for her tonight.
So do we try to get the blood today in the pits? Or...
I think the pits may just be a faulty idea. I think it's going to.
Already expects that we're on our way to Lyzata. If we return and challenge her to a fight, that is incredibly suspicious.
That is fair.
I don't think there's. So here's the thing. She gave us that weapon. She knows what it's capable of. She will know whether or not we've used it. I don't think there's any situation where we go down into the fighting pits with her that don't make her suspicious.
We don't have to do that.
Yeah. If there is a situation where it seems natural, we take it. But keep in mind that depending on the nature of this battle, blood may be spilled in other ways.
Am I gonna die?
Maybe.
Yes, if you can have her be part of the battle against Lyzata, blood may simply be spilled that you can get at that point.
We'll keep that in mind, but... Delancre, I must ask, you've already given us the information about the bone trial with the Rakdos and that the tongue is kept in the same place, but is there any other information you might be able to provide to us that might help us with in this endeavor? You seem to know a lot more about the workings here than we do.
Well, there are 2 things. 1, the Crypt of Keys. It's not an easy trial to undertake. But as someone who's done it, I can give you advice. 2,
What's the advice?
Well, I'll get there in a moment. I can make your assault tonight a bit easier.
Oh?
You have a better plan than my other cell. And I've decided you all are the better group to back.
I agree.
I'll have them pull out tonight.
Oh, that won't be necessary. I never pull out.
Why does having them retreat make our assault simpler?
I have another cell working for Lyzata, in her employ similar to how you are in Hekara's.
Interesting.
I can take out a chunk of her elite forces that would be defending the keep.
That would be preferred.
That is, in fact, our current job, so that would be nice.
Kyle.
Have you
Yes.
obtained any other information about her forces through this other group of yours?
I do know a chunk. On the outside, she relies on thralls she has made of blood fray giants.
Yeah,
Nasty
big guys.
business. They're not very bright, but they don't have to be. If they strike you, it will break you.
They're pretty big. I imagine that's a reasonable concern.
Do they have any
Yes.
weaknesses?
They don't.
Distractions. They are beings of momentum. If you can stop them from repeatedly attacking the same person, they won't ever gain their full strength. And frankly, they're stupid. Blood Frays already aren't the brightest. And the corruption of being brought back from the grave over and over again has corroded their brains further. I'm sure that anything intelligence-based would be quite effective against them. Honestly, one or two of them might be stupid enough where if you throw something shiny, they chase it.
Oh.
Although I wouldn't necessarily use that as your plan. I'm being a bit facetious. But Lyzata also keeps a normal manner. Once you get past the outer walls, the giants won't be able to make it in to follow you. They're simply too large. They stay on the outskirts.
Okay.
She does have some ogre thralls, cambions, and apprentice mages. But I don't believe any of them will give you nearly as much trouble as the giants.
We're not fighting them. Hekara didn't say we had to. She just said to deal with the giants. So that's what we're gonna do.
One final thing to note, though.
Yeah.
If I have the other group, the other cell, pull out, the underbelly of the manor will probably be abandoned. They have an armory down there. There may be materials you can get that will aid you in your fight. But also, they have advised me that since it was made known Hekara has found her third child, Lyzata has become desperate. Holed herself away in a ritual room on the second floor of the manor. They haven't been able to determine what she's doing in there. But I'm sure it's nothing that will make your lives easier. The sooner you can stop her, maybe getting there tonight, if she's not able to complete whatever ritual she's working on, may actually be your best shot at taking her out.
But she could just kill us then. She's still a very powerful blood witch.
Yes.
I think we could do it.
Though, this is information we could feed to Hekara to further get in her good graces and perhaps change her battle plan.
What will we say the source of our information is?
Tell them we bribed some of Lysolda's workers. It would explain why the underbelly is vulnerable. We paid one of them off, and they will not be showing up to work tomorrow. Or tonight, even. We work with Fox. Using bribery as an excuse shouldn't be much of a surprise.
He has a fair point. These are feasible excuses that I think she would keep.
Speaking of which, perhaps we should... Oh, wait, We probably should get the two of them to inform them of the plan. The earlier we can carry this out and deal with those giants and get that information back to Hekara, the better.
Agreed. So perhaps we should just go.
Yes, I think so, and perhaps one of the two of them has a skill set better suited to dealing with these giants that we haven't thought of.
So we're going back to Hekara to...
No.
Okay.
We're getting the rest of the party.
Oh, okay.
We're getting the other two and we're going to the mansion.
Nice.
Well, I think we should try to inform them of kind of some of the stuff we talked about here, but like, the first thing we should tell them is that we're gonna deal with the giants, and that the underbelly with the armory will be open. It's not gonna be guarded. Wait, is there a way into the underbelly from outside the manor, like into the underlevels? Like, is there a way in and out, like a secret tunnels or anything, or like sewers that lead to it?
There is, but that is going to be... If you wish for stealth, it will be a good option, but it will require a difficult fight. One
Why?
of the things that my other cell that is within Lyzata's employ has not been able to do is clear out the demon protector of the escape route. Lyzata does have an escape route that goes out through the underbelly of the manor, but it is patrolled by a powerful demon that listens to no one but her and attacks all on sight. We've already lost a member of that cell to it.
What kind of demon?
Unfortunately, the one who likely could have told us that, well, as I said, is dead. But it's apparently dangerous. More dangerous than expected. Frankly, I've heard about this automata project that Hekara is working on. And my understanding is that one of those wouldn't stand a chance against whatever is in this escape route.
Still, it's good to know that that's there, because we could just tell Hekara that there's only one thing guarding it, but she'd probably still be more inclined to go through the front door and deal with the giants then, so... I guess we'll probably should still deal with that. Sounds like it'll be easier.
Right.
Okay, then yeah, so then we'll go get them. We gotta find a way to deal with these giants. Once the giants are dealt with, I say we go back to Hekara, tell her, like, hey look, we dealt with the giants. We also paid off some of Lysolda's, like, disgruntled, or we say, like, we got some information out of Lysolda's forces. Apparently she's been holed up for so long and she hasn't been, like, supporting them or whatever, that they took the bribe and they're not gonna be there, so the lower levels will be unoccupied. And we have the information about her being holed up in the ritual room. We give Hekara all that information, so that way she's like, oh look, they did some scout, like, we basically use the information that Delancre gave us and pretend that we scouted the manor.
Yeah.
To make it seem like we did more than we actually did. I think that's what I'm thinking we should do. Alright, then I say we get the other two and we concoct a plan to deal with these giants.
Murder.
Yeah,
What
no, probably.
need other than just flick my dagger in the air?
Murder.
One
Well-
thing it is worth questioning about that might work to an extent for
Okay.
the ones who are like you.
Yeah.
But thralls are bound to their blood witch.
Yeah.
It's not that they wouldn't accept a bribe, but more that I'm not even sure they can.
You said your team weren't thralls.
Correct.
So clearly Lysolda had some motive for hiring forces that were not thralls. We wouldn't be lying.
Yes, I'm simply telling you that Hekara, if she's not aware of any non-thralls within Lyzata's employ, might find it curious.
Could we just say that the ones we bribed weren't thralls?
Well, I think what the point is that Hekara doesn't know that Lysolda has minions that aren't thralls.
Exactly.
Or we just deal with that small detail later.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
We go.
Or like, yeah, you know what? We'll just make the excuse. We'll just say, like, we snuck into the manor. We realized that some of the people there were mercenaries and not thralls. And when we talked about it, we could say that, like, Lysolda hasn't been making new thralls. She's just been buying people. Something must be up. Or something like that.
Yes, we go.
That could
Yeah.
work. The only other thing is I would give the if you're going to be not seeing me again beforehand, the Crypt of Keys is a trial unlike what you may have faced. It's called such because it is basically a large-scale battle against all others who are attempting to undertake the same trial. There are many rooms. It is a large dungeon. And
Where is it?
It's in Rixmati. But if you're fighting amongst the Blood Witches and making a name for yourself there, they won't reject you from the guild hall.
Okay, so we'll be fine.
But the issue is, once you enter the crypt, you'll each be given one key. To get through each room, you need a key. You'll have to kill your way through the others in that crypt to make your way to the end.
I was under the assumption we had to do that anyway. This is the Rakdos.
Yes, but you'll have to take their keys from them. There will be fights where they've simply reached a dead end, and there's nothing more dangerous than a desperate person who's been trapped inside this waiting, ambushing, and having nothing but time to think about how they're going to kill the next person who comes in so that they can take their key and move on. Simply a warning.
The specifics of the battle are something we'll figure out in time. This team is rather, I won't say competent, but they've surprised me before. So that's an issue for another day. One problem at a time. First, that problem is giants.
Very well. You have been given my warning. Do with it as you will.
Alright, well, thank you for the information. I think we need to go figure out where those other two might have gone, because they could be anywhere in this city.
Agreed.
Yes.
Now,
Go to the candy shop.
I will inform the other cell to leave the manor. They should be gone by 8 or 9 p.m. tonight.
Works for us.
Candy.
Yeah, so how's the candy shop going, guys?
Clara is like doing the walrus thing with 2 lollipops. Look, Fox, I'm a walrus!
Yes, you are, Clara. You are so talented.
How the hell are we gonna find them?
I've never seen anything so magnificent in my life.
Yeah,
we
so
should
I
have
mean,
established a place to meet up.
it's the Rakdos. They all have sugar highs. Like, it's not hard to find a candy shop in Winlot. Like, there's every sort of debauchery you can have. There are drugstores. There are, like, random people just selling weapons on the street. And then there's, like, one cute little candy shop off to the side that, like, seems to be, like, Rakdos but for kids, where they just go crazy on the sugar. And you see, like, coming out of the door, and, like, you see, like, through the windows, little, like, sparks of electricity and bursts and stuff. And you realize, oh god, Clara has a sugar high and is setting off explosions again. She has all those sparklers. You know exactly where they went.
Okay.
So Clara and Fox, how has the candy shop been?
They have this thing called taffy, and it shut Clara up for a whole 10 minutes chewing. It was wonderful.
Buy more.
Look, Mr. Asher, Mr.
More.
Taro, I'm a walrus!
Get more. As much as you can. Buy them out. This plan might hinge on it.
There's just like this sweet old halfling working the counter. And going, oh, it's so nice to have an innocent child in here every once in a while.
Ah, yes. Innocent.
Ah, yes.
Child.
Child.
Alright,
Thank you. Now, if you'll excuse me, I will take my child and be off. Thank you for your service as I hand over how much we owe.
I'll say if you manage to get her into some taffy and shut her up for a while, probably like 5 silver, because I assume she's just digging through candy the entire time you're there. But
Yes.
you like keep steering her towards the stuff that's gonna take a while and gum up her teeth and stuff. So you can probably get away with only 5 silver.
This is the price I pay for your happiness, Clara.
That sure was yummy.
Now then, warriors, your endeavor fruitful? I say as I leave and see the other group.
We go to fight giants.
Escher, you no longer see any divination magic on Clara. It seems that whatever it was has expired in the time that you were speaking with Delancre.
Huh. Interesting.
There is still the divination and necromancy magic on Fox, but
Less concerned
none on
about
Clara
him.
anymore.
Well, the good thing is, it seems that one of the wandering eyes that has taken an interest in us is no longer here.
Oh?
Don't worry, Fox, it's not you.
Yes, I knew that. Anyway, can you
Well,
fill
then-
us in as
The
I just make a spark appear between my fingers?
Well, now I can, though I don't know if... perhaps here is not the best place, but...
We go in an alleyway.
Yeah, is there just like a secluded alleyway somewhere? Is that like... Can we do that?
Yeah, you can run into an alley.
Just so like Kai or I can just slip Fox a noodle so he knows what's going on?
Yeah,
Of like, the general plan?
You can get into a place where it is easy enough to discreetly pass a encoded thoughts of the conversation you had with Delancre.
Okay.
Fox will go over to Clara and send her encoded thoughts of the memory of seeing that encoded thoughts.
It's like telephone, it's gonna start getting diluted. But,
yeah, you can encode a message or you can encode a memory. If you encode a message, then it's up to your faulty memory. If you encode a memory, it's actually what you saw.
Clara, any questions?
Connor's metagaming.
Is he?
He literally just asked if anybody had questions. How's
Yeah,
that
we
metagaming?
literally have a spell that lets us transfer information instantly.
Clara has to bonk her mother with a brick. She should be informed and asked if she has any questions.
Technically, she just has to use it on the winner. Back to the void she goes.
Clara completely ignoring that you guys were encoding thoughts, and she just starts talking. Wait, but hold on, I found out something from the demon man.
You didn't meet with the demon man, we did.
Weren't you listening, Mr. Asher? I swear, sometimes you don't listen to me. But
You're right, sometimes I don't.
But no, Mama is not really who we think. She's actually her sister. So maybe she might have the keys already.
Ooh,
What?
what?
Well, didn't I tell you that
No.
that Mama, who says she's Hekara, is apparently not really Hekara, and she's actually her sister who killed the real Hekara, and now she's pretending.
Wait, Lyzata?
No, the
Lyzata?
other one.
The dead one.
Exava?
Yeah, like I was like mind blown.
So
In theory,
How does that change our plan?
she would have
Yeah.
her key from being
Oh.
Isolda, and she took Hasara's key.
So if we get her Lyzatas, she has all 3.
Well, I don't know for sure, but Mama might have 2 keys already.
That wouldn't explain why she seems to need you and the other siblings so much, though.
Well,
A cover story.
More artillery for the army.
Yeah, right.
I think it's something about, like, well, I have all my kids and I'm the rightful heir and la 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 la.
So.
Yeah, you might have been a little drunk, but Lizzie, when we did this, but no, it was on the beach, but yeah, no, it is a prophecy that the first one to have all 3 children will be the one to recover the tongue, and that is what Hekara has been spreading.
But
So, if this truly is the case, we also may be able to weaponize this fake Hekara's children against her.
perhaps we should find a more discreet place to discuss this than an alleyway. I know a tavern.
They were like, everything Mama says is right, and Mama is the best, and Mama this and Mama that, and they don't care about Clara, because Clara was saying things, and they said, we don't care what you think, Clara.
I think
this is all very believable.
I think we should get her somewhere more discreet before this gets louder.
Clara, we care what you have to say. Now, kindly, can we keep the volume down?
I'm sorry, I had a lot of sugar.
Coming down off the sugar.
Oh god, by the time we get back to the tavern, she's gonna be unconscious again.
Yeah, would it, can we just say that, like, can we rebook that room in the tavern so we have a private place to talk again and we don't have to worry about, like, volume or being spied on by somebody walking by on the street? Because I thought we went into the alleyway just to pass a spaghetti.
The best customers of the day. You need a room again?
Yeah. Can we get like a returning discount?
10 minutes.
Give me a persuasion check.
Laura, you're not drunk.
I don't think I should, Connor. Maybe you should.
Look, we don't need it for the full time. I'm sure we could, on roll.
You can roll with advantage because you're trying to convince as a group, so that I'm going to consider that the help action, so you can roll one more time.
Yo, dude, come on.
And they go, well, we are trying to run a business, but if you're looking for a shorter amount of time, how about we drop it to 8 silver a person instead of a gold?
I will give you 6 gold pieces right now. Let us use it for like 20 minutes.
Deal! And he takes it.
I don't feel like dealing with the math on this. Go and get in the fucking room.
Go in the room.
Okay. So first of all, Clara, what? You've been babbling a lot about Hekara not being Hekara and other strange things. Explain.
Well, for the 3rd time, Mr. Escher, the lunar demon came to me in my dream and told me things about Mama, and he told me that she who he says she is.
And we're supposed to believe a dream you had.
Well, it's true.
Yes, I'm sure it was.
Escher, your quote-unquote science aside, I think I, for some reason, trust her dream more than any information we have right now.
Why?
Nothing about blood magic, lunar demons, none of this makes sense for anything we've learned before. We're just basing all of this off of people's word, just as much as this.
It does, from what we have seen, it does stand to reason that it is entirely possible that some kind of demon has contacted Clara in her sleep and spoken to her through her dreams. But I raise you this. Who's to say it's telling the truth? It's a demon.
Well, he's my thrall, thank you very much.
Is he, or has it convinced you of that?
Did you not see me do the big slash and the declare and then the power?
No, I didn't. I don't know what that means.
Okay, Escher, you might have been away for this. She's not lying. It was very public. That demon is her thrall.
I would still not prefer to not trust a demon on vital intelligence.
Well,
Even if it does speak the truth, though, I think Kai is correct. This really doesn't change much for us.
exactly. You can believe me or not, but we still need to go figure it out. So then, when they get the key from Lyzata, we gotta snatch it up because I'm pretty sure Mama's gonna have 3 keys and be able to do the thing.
The brick will still work on her if she has 3 keys, will it not?
Will it? She is the one that gave it to us. She could have lied about that as well.
Well, if there's anybody that's going to be able to figure out exactly how it works, I don't think it's going to be either of us. It's going to be the only one with experience in blood magic. That's you, Clara.
I know it is.
You seem to have a knack for your little inventions as well as blood magic. Something that combines the two should be natural to you. Do you think you could figure out how this device works and verify whether or not we can use it on its creator?
I've never worked with any fancy gizmo like this though, and we don't really, I think, have time or the materials.
Aren't you familiar with magic that can identify the properties of certain items?
I saw you give garbage consciousness over the course of 8 hours. I believe in you.
Oh, me.
Yes.
That took a second. Oh yeah, Jerry. Where's Jerry too?
That's not.
He's just been like waddling around behind you.
Oh,
Not
there
important,
it is.
but-
I was worried.
I would rather imagine a cut back to the mansion as Jerry 2 is downing gallons of beer.
What's important is you do have a technical prowess the rest of us don't. If anybody's going to be able to decipher how it works, it will be you.
Well, I mean, I guess. But
You can either give an Arcana check if you want to try and determine how much of it you can understand. You can also cast Identify if you want.
You know, the spell you can actually cast.
or where is it? Where is it?
Don't do it. Don't do it.
Where is it?
Where is it? Haha. I get it.
Yo.
Give me that DC 12 Arcana check.
That was for you, Pat.
This is the check for the
It's Arcana. And it's DC 12 for a first level spell.
Oh, thank God.
Yeah, so you see as she like goes, all right, time to go, and touches a few buttons on her arm, and the like mechanical glove she's wearing just starts shooting out electricity at the box.
Oh no.
And then after a few moments, we'll say about 6 seconds. Oh wait, no, it still takes a minute, even if you normal cast it. So it does still take a full minute. But you are able to kind of like channel the arcane energy from your Mizium apparatus into this thing, and then have it like send back the data it's able to gather as it courses through. And you are able to successfully find out that this is a box of Blood Witch sealing. To activate it, a drop of blood from a Blood Witch is required, as well as the target. So you need at least one Blood Witch's blood, and then you can either add the blood of a second Blood Witch, or have the brick contact their skin. This is when you realize, though, it will incapacitate both. If you activate this and throw it at Lyzata or Hekara, it will knock you out too. And it's not just that it knocks you out, it puts you into a demi-plane.
So, correction. We need to get 2 Blood Witches' blood.
So we convince Formeth that Hekara is not actually Hekara and is actually Lyzata. Hekara is dead, and Formeth needs to rebel against his former mother, and he's the one that throws the brick at not Hekara.
Well, Mr. Kai, obviously you weren't listening to me either, but I tried to tell Formeth that Mom was bad and he wouldn't listen.
Well, yeah, that's kind of because you don't do a good job of explaining that.
Well, he just kept saying that she's always right. And I said, this time, she's not right.
Not right about... Did you tell him that it's not your mother?
I might have said that she is, has more children than just us and that she's been killing them and trying again, and they said that I was lying.
Well, what they said is, that's not possible.
Well, they said I was lying.
So
the answer is yes, Clara did not explain to them.
If I'm hearing this correctly, we can activate the brick with a drop of Lyzata's blood, then throw it at not Hekara and knock them both out.
Potentially, but...
With the identify, yes, that would work.
Oh. Huh, alright, if we kill Lyzata...
Two different... It basically just needs contact at the same time by 2 different Blood Witches. And if you have their blood, it doesn't require contact.
We need to summon Aldrich.
And why can't we have Clara do it?
I would prefer that Clara, the one who's going to get us this 3rd key, if the 3rd key is not already obtained, is not on another plane of existence.
Does it bring them both?
Aldrich's mosquitoes.
Wait, does it bring them both to the same demi-plane? Like, how does this work?
That's how it sounds to me.
It brings both of them to a demi-plane.
The same one or a different one for each? Like, is this like, are they each imprisoned or are they put in a room together?
You know what? Identify does say exactly what it does, so... Yeah, it puts them in the same demi-plane.
Well, that's not great, and also, yeah, it sounds like... So now I'm kind of thinking that Hekara gave this to Clara as a get rid of 2 birds with 1 stone type thing, potentially. Hey, what are the chances that Lysolda knows Identify?
Lyzata, probably.
There are chances.
Because, like, could we give this to her and be like, hey, look, we come with an offering. This is a weapon that can defeat your sister and trap her forever.
No. We'd be very forward with it. We say, this will trap you both in the same demi-plane. You can overwhelm her there.
Because if she says no and decides to kill us, we're in a bad spot. Well, that changes all of my plans.
Lizzie, I could not hear you.
I think either way, we need to go do what Mama instructed us so that we don't seem suspicious.
I mean, yeah, it's more of we need to decide, we gotta figure out real quick what we're doing after that.
We figure it out on the walk home.
We go.
I think we need to understand the situation a little bit better because right now it's just a lot of what if.
I suppose that's true. Bare minimum, if we complete this task for Hekara and we ensure that this battle takes place, the two of them will most likely encounter each other at some point, which puts the highest concentration of witch blood in one room that we could ask for. Then it just becomes a question of how we get it. Alright.
So, what are you all doing?
We're gonna go to the manor. And we need to
Which
scout
manor?
this out, figure out where the bad one, the one with the giants.
They're both bad.
Okay, the one with the giants is a bit more specific.
Yes.
I will also say at this point it's probably about 3 p.m.
So we wanted to wait for fall, I believe.
So we bum around for 6 hours in the city.
We scout.
Yeah.
And we time jump.
Yeah, is there can we like scout it out reasonably during the day so we know what we're getting into at night? Like
You can do some like far away scouting out during the day to get a bit more details than the like map that was sent in the chat earlier. If someone wants to go,
always
and
fly
and
and
make...
out for 6 seconds.
You can run it.
could I potentially do some a little bit of a deeper scouting around the perimeter of it so we know exactly like where these giants are and stuff?
That is something that you could potentially do, like during the day.
Okay. I mean, I think I could do that.
Yeah, wait, Vinny, aren't you able to scout with Amoeba?
Yep. Bop.
Yeah, having the weasel goo might work pretty well.
There you go. There he is.
I mean, I
He's
also
just a
have
long booger.
shape, so I could be an animal.
I forgot that that you could do that too. That is a good point. We could
We had a cat on the microphone for a second. Katie, do you want to repeat what you said? I don't know if it was heard.
No,
that she
I
could
heard it.
turn into an animal. Wild
Okay.
shape.
we can do both. We can do both.
But if she uses it now, she won't have it later.
I wasn't gonna use mine later, so this is the best use of mine.
See, I like the idea of a little rat riding on the back of an amoeba weasel.
Inside. It's gonna be inside. This is basically a booger snake.
Wait, you look like you were rowing.
Hold on.
Sugar high. We call the irons hot.
So I've already used it. I've already popped this little fucker out of my skin. Can I if I send him in, should I be doing like a roll for him?
Yeah, so give me a stealth roll for the stealth slime.
All right, then I'm popping one of these on him.
And this is it's about an hour's travel. The manor is about an hour's walk outside of Winlock, same as Hekara's place.
So I'm popping a guidance on the little bastard, and then when we get closer, I'm gonna have him just slither down my sleeve and be like, "Go on, go look." I just want to see what the wait, let me just see what the range on this thing is. I totally forgot about that.
I think it's 100 feet of shared senses.
Okay. I just want to see if it's still alive beyond that.
I think it can still live beyond that. It just can't share its senses with you, and because it can't speak to you, you won't really get any information once it's back.
While you're familiar with within 100 feet of you, you can communicate with it telepathically. I think it can
it's actually communicate. It's not shared
Yeah.
senses.
No, I can communicate with it telepathically. Additionally, as an action, I can see through its eyes and hear what it hears until the start of my next turn.
Okay, then yeah, you can have it potentially scout. I will need that
So-
guidance stealth.
Yeah, so I'm gonna send it in there and be like, "Come on, go search the perimeter. Tell me what you find." And it's gonna slither down my arm and out the door. All right, this is just a normal ass stealth roll. It's okay at this. And I don't know how to. Oh my god, I don't know how to. I'm just gonna manually add the D4 to this because it didn't add it because I don't think I gave it the guidance. But okay, good.
So
that's a
16
16.
total. Okay.
Yeah. Could have been better, but also could have been way worse. Oh my god.
The stealth slime creeps along the rocks on the outside. So you get a bit of an idea. It is a kind of winding path up into a somewhat mountainous area. It's like a rocky hillside outside of Windlot, whereas Hekara's manor was kind of like in this like area of kind of lush green. Out here, it is almost purely rock. You do see that there is some greenery within the keep itself, but like it is actually on a cliff face. So the main way in, there is an elevated pathway walking up to it that is surrounded by two giants. There is another entrance on the eastern side with one giant and one ogre. The same with one on the top, one giant, one ogre. An area where it kind of breaks out and there's a lookout tower with a cambion on the top of it. And then on the western side, there is one giant alone.
So which is the gate she wanted us to get through?
The southern one that has the path going into it.
And that is
basically
giants?
every other gate goes down onto a cliff face. So you could potentially go through it, but like you'd have to scale a cliff to get there. There's only one with a path leading in. And that one
seems
has
like a
two
silly
giants.
I'm not gonna lie. If they're just facing cliffs, it seems a silly place to have gates. But I won't question the architect.
Some people can fly, Vinny. This is a fantasy world.
Well, not that most people can't. So, if he relays all that information for me, I'm just gonna be like, "Ah, good job," and then I'll just kind of eat him again, so he comes back.
Yeah, it
Well-
doesn't get inside the keep at all, just the perimeter.
Yeah, I wasn't gonna try. That's mostly what I wanted to see. So, I would just relay that information back real quick since I got it telepathically. And I would tell them that, like, it seems like the biggest issue could potentially be that watchtower that has a cambion. So if we're going to deal with these giants, it may benefit us to bring them somewhere else and then deal with them, if possible. They are stupid, so if any of us are particularly good at lying, perhaps we could convince them to go a ways down the path and leave their post, and even possibly split them up and then deal with them individually. You know?
Shit, I'm gonna have to expand my map, aren't I?
I mean, expand it or just like, I don't know, we just bring them, we tell them to go to Winglot, we bring them to the tavern, and then, I don't know, we kill them in the back room of the tavern. That's feasible, right?
They won't fit. Objectively, they will not fit in the tavern.
Alright, then we just lure them onto the streets of Winlot, and then somebody calls out, "Giant attack!" And then we just start killing them. Half the population might help us.
By expand the map, I mostly just mean I didn't have the path going out very far.
I don't know. What do we think? Because like,
Yeah.
because I'm a little worried that however we deal with these guys, the Cambion in that watchtower is going to see it and is smarter than the giants. So even if we trick them, he might not get fooled for long. So that's something we got to consider. I don't know what we want to do about that, though. Kind of sounds like a job for one of the talky people.
That ain't me. My solution is stab him.
Well,
Also stab him.
See again, the solution can be stab them. The problem is that if we stab them where they stand, somebody might see us. I
don't
We could-
exactly think killing a giant is ever going to be a stealthy thing.
No, but if we do it out of the view of the guy in the watchtower, that's how far. Where is the watchtower? Like, could I tell what it was overlooking? Like, was that communicated to me?
Yes, so the watchtower was on the north end. There's like there are multiple places in the outside where it looks like there could be people kind of in a watchable place, but the only part where he saw a Cambion in a specific watchtower was on the north end. There's almost like a peninsula area that comes out on the northwestern end, and there's a watchtower at the peak of that.
So would that be able to see the gate that we're going to?
They are far enough away where probably not. That being said,
you just let me babble like an idiot.
Well, the border of everything could potentially have people on the scaffolding watching out. It's just that the stealth slime didn't notice anything there.
Yeah, that's the one that we would notice of, like, when we get there. But yeah, having me babble on like an idiot about this watchtower seeing us, and it wouldn't be able to see us there. Oh, fuck it, yeah, we'll just go stab him.
We go, charge forward.
Yeah, so now it's about 5 p.m. So, what would you all like to do? You could also just say you kill time until it's dark.
Yeah, I think we should wait till nightfall, and then...
Yeah, you kill time till it's dark.
And then use that to get closer and see what the situation is.
Or we use that to get closer and just start stabbing.
In that case, it's time to, turn off global illumination on the scene, because even though you're outside, it's gonna be dark.
Just put it on night mode.
Yeah.
The fuck is night mode?
When you go to the light, you can make it nighttime.
Wait, really?
Yeah.
Yeah!
Oh shit, yeah you can.
Man says so many mods, he forgot about the default features.
I just have never used that. I didn't know it was a thing.
It's like, it kinda works. It just makes everything real dark. You still need, like, lights, though, to actually see anything.
Yeah, it's making it kind of dark. That's pretty cool. How about that? Right, let me throw you all on this, and then I'll activate the scene, and then it might also be a good time to call the session, given that it is the usual time.
I just want to see what we're dealing with, if possible.
I'm getting y'all on. It just takes a second to get 6 tokens.
Are you? You don't seem to use your magic weapon. I found like exclusively to the Mistblade.
You do use bows quite often.
Yeah, Gideon,
Hold
we
on.
have many live recordings
Have you ever
that
seen
says
Katie
otherwise.
use the Mistblade?
No, I have never seen her use it once.
Like, we literally have video evidence. We started recording before you got the Mistblade. We watched you get the Mistblade on recording, and I think we've seen you attack with it like 4 times in the last year and a half.
That is simply not true.
As a melee fighter, help the melee fighters.
Alright,
actually,
so...
Ambro's a pretty damn good tank, but like, still.
I'm still not loaded in, so...
It is a fairly
now
large
I am.
map.
Now I am.
We're on the map, and there do be giants.
Like, immediately in front of us.
As I said,
I
didn't...
not like 8
yeah,
feet away.
I'm saying that you guys are further out, but I have to put you on the map, and this is what I meant by, oh, I might have to expand this map. Because, like, I was like, oh, hey, they're going to the manor. Let me make the manor, not let me make, like, the 400 feet leading up to the manor. You know?
Ah, you fool.
Yes,
You
it was my
tricked
mistake. I
fool.
recognize that.
Not making 2 maps for every 1 map? Rookie mistake.
Well, that's where I do have you beat. There are 3 maps for this map.
Then you should have had 4.
Because there's an upstairs and a downstairs as well. But
Thank you for not trying to stack them on top of each other this time.
yeah,
That was a good call.
that was such a nightmare. I'm back to the teleporting staircases.
Alright, so there are 2 of these guys.
Yeah, so I'm gonna say you're about 100 feet out on the path, far enough where in the dark they're not like immediately going to notice you, but because you're looking for them, you do immediately notice them. Actually, one thing I need to change. They are both very, very faintly glowing.
Great. That never means anything bad.
Well, you can see, like, coming
God,
from the glow, like, it's not enough to really illuminate anything around them, but you can see their skin is, like, cracked and flayed, and where it is, it almost looks like there's a little bit of fire coming out from the broken skin.
Great. Could we maybe just have like somebody with dark vision just do a perception check to see if there's anybody else around here or if it's just the giants?
Yes, if anyone with dark vision would like to give a perception check, they can.
I shall perceive.
Actually,
And I believe her shall Clara?
it is a question. Because if you have dark vision 60, you will have to get within 60 feet of these things to do that.
You are the one that gave me the magical dark vision. That's a question for you.
That is a quick, I need to look up the stat block that I took that from.
Clara does want to cast Disguise Self, though.
Who are you disguising as?
Not the person that was just announced as the new child of Hekara.
Well, Kai, you have 120 feet of dark vision, it turns
Oh,
out.
hell
so
yeah.
you can actually see without having to get into the range of their dark vision.
And the man's got a 20.
Yeah, I don't think I even have the dark vision officially on my sheet.
That's fine.
Anyway.
With a 20, you are just barely able to make out the peak of red horns over the side of the scaffolding over here.
Aha.
They don't, like, there's no reaction to you guys from it. So you might be outside of its dark vision range. Or it just hasn't noticed you yet. But you do notice it looks like there's some sort of fiend coming from that area.
I'm not doing anything there, but for next session, when that will probably matter, I'm just going to keep that there to remember that that's where the thing is.
Yep, I can't wait for us to get to next session and all forget why that was put there. Alright. I do think that this is probably a pretty good spot to end it. Does anybody else have anything any last things that they want to do?
Now we won't forget.
Fair enough.
Now we really won't forget. That's a problem.
Alright.
Wait, would the Cambion see us if we approach?
Its dark vision might only be 60 feet, so it might not see us yet.
But yet, but when we approach.
Yes, it will.
I'm actually kind of curious.
I'm kind of curious what Auto GM would do for the art for my character, just given the name.
Well, I've got
Kaigyo?
some options.
Yep.
Oh, why do all my good options have to be concentration?
Alright, I think I'm going to cut the recording there. Thanks, everybody.